All right, folks. So, just so that I am upfront with you guys, I'm recording this screen, so they can hear our voices, but they can't see your faces. Just so that I can send it out because I got some people that are missing, of course, today. And rather than reteaching it all, I'll just send out the link to this video, and that way we're good to go there. So, we are going to be looking at the part 6. So I have a presentation that kind of explains it all, or at least puts it in a position where I can write on stuff. So you will need a calculator, and a pencil would be wonderful. Okay.
I have a vehicle.
Current vehicles will be included in this, so we should be good to go. So just to make sure we have the directions correctly explained, all participants are required to complete all 4 blocks of information below. So the first block is the actual vehicle, that first part. Second block and third block are the fantasy junker, which I'll explain here in a moment. And then the fourth block is the public transportation. Okay, so you're going to do all 4 of them, and you may, depending on how much you get done as we're doing classwork today, get it all done today, depending on. Right. But again, not due until Friday at 2:10. Once we get past some of the first one, the main one, everything else gets a little bit easier. So there's a couple different scenarios here. I'm going to go with the easiest one first. So who in here has a vehicle that is completely paid off? They're most likely going to just keep on using it. Okay. So Sylvia, do you mind if I use your information? Okay, so I'm going to use Sylvia's information. You guys, however, can use your information. Just kind of follow along and put in your numbers as we go. Okay? If you don't have your own vehicle, or if you have a payment, or you need to purchase a vehicle, hold off a moment and just kind of follow along. All right, so Sylvia, let's start with the type of car you have. So what kind of car do you have?
A Honda Accord.
Okay. So up here, Honda Accord. What year is it? Do you know?
It's older. It's a 2008.
Okay. Okay. Hondas hold up relatively well. Do you, by any chance, remember how much you paid for it, or how much your parents paid for it?
I do not, because
Okay.
I inherited my car.
Okay, that's fine. So for that one, you would just put a question mark. I don't know if you do know. If you guys know how much, put that in there. Okay. How much will you pay up front for this car? So you said you inherited this?
Yes, I did.
So I'm actually going to have you write that in here. Inherited. Okay. For those who, I'm just going to put this in different colors. For those who do know, so let's say that you knew it was a $5,000 vehicle, and you paid all $5,000. That means it would be $0. The nice thing for everyone else, even if you inherited it, it's also $0. Okay. So if you got it and it's been paid for, and your mom and dad just said, "Here's a car," and you're blessed to have that situation, $0. If they bought it and you know how much they paid for it and it's still paid off, $0. And this next part's the fun part. You guys ready? Paid off. Super easy. Okay, which helps us with the next portion. So you'll see the next question. To afford this car in your budget, how many months? Well, that's NA because it's paid off. Not applicable. Next one, we'll be able to put a real number in here. What is the total monthly cost of the car, including all that interest you're paying? $0. Okay. Now, how big is the gas tank? You know, like if you were to fill it up.
Probably 50.
That's a
Yes.
2008.
This is original. Say
Yeah,
15
12.
because I'm
Rule of thumb here, and I'll answer your questions.
okay.
Rule of thumb, typically, I will overestimate when I'm budgeting, because in the real world, again, if I'm budgeting and I overestimate and there's money left over, I'm happy. If I'm underestimate and I've got to pay more money, I'm not so happy, right? So I typically go over the top of that. Where are you living for the project? Where's your job? Are you staying in Medina? Did you move to a different state?
It's in Ohio, Canton.
Okay, so you're probably going to be around the 299, which I just saw the other day, which is very nice. Okay, so all we do now is some basic math. 12 gallons times 299 is one fill up. I would, again, overestimate, multiply by 4 fill ups for the month. And that puts you at 143.52. So once a week.
So I drive a truck that is 36 gallons, and I feel like 2 weeks.
Okay.
So there's 0 times 2 instead of 4.
Correct. Yeah. So, guys, the question was, he has a truck that is 36 gallons, and he does it every 2 weeks. If that's your scenario, then he would only multiply these by 2, right? So, your situation for your gas, you do what you would think is going to fit your situation. Okay. You had a question.
I was just wondering if I could type up how big my gas tank is.
Did you want to look it up? Yeah, go ahead. Okay, so this is the simplest version. Okay, so Sylvia, you're good to go? Awesome. All right, now, who in here, let me erase a couple things on here. Actually, no, I'll start over. Okay, who in here has a vehicle that's theirs, but you still have payments? Okay, anybody else? All right, fine, this is good. All right, so what kind of vehicle?
Kia Ford.
Okay, so we're just gonna go. Kia Forte. Okay, and then do you know what year it is?
21.
Nice. Okay, and then how much did it cost?
Like my down payment on it?
Well, how much did it cost the car? The whole.
I don't know.
How
I
much?
can look it up.
How much did you put down?
25.
2,500.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's 2021.
I,
Go ahead and look it up.
okay.
But you said how much did you put down? You said 2,500. Okay, so her down payment was 2,500.
17.
Okay.
17,800.
That's cap.
So that was the total cost. You put 2,500 down. Now, based on how much you were paying, if I just subtract that, that leaves me with $15,390 that you're responsible for. So you already have a payment, right?
Yeah.
What's your monthly payment?
$265.
Okay. So we're gonna put that right there. Okay. And then right here, we're gonna put payments. Okay. Do you by any chance know how much longer you have?
Still like 2 years.
Okay. So we'll
I
put,
just hit my year. I did 3 years.
gotcha. So you got about 24 months left. Okay. And then the gas tank will be the same process. You do your gas tank, so that part is going to be the same. Matter of fact, when we get to here, junker 1, fancy car 2, 2 and 3, the only specifics I ask for are your gas tanks, but I'll get to that here in just a moment. All right, now, who in here needs to get a new vehicle or needs to get a vehicle? Let me just throw that out there. We don't have to go with anything special or fancy. We can find ourselves something that's going to get us from point A to point B. That's perfectly acceptable. Okay. Let's go. I'm going to have you tell me what kind of vehicle you would be. Well, let's keep it very, very generic. Are you looking for a car, an SUV, or a truck? Car. Okay. Small, medium, large. Medium. Okay. So let's say, just for the sake of right now, this would be something you would potentially have to do a little bit miniature amount of research on, but there will be some math involved here in a moment. So if you have those calculators, get those ready. So let's go with a Fusion, Ford Fusion. Okay, it's a medium-sized car. We'll go with a 2015. Again, not old, not great, not new, and we'll put it at $6,000. Okay, Now, this is where, if you're doing this type of stuff, for those who have already finished their car stuff, just be patient with me. I will get to you just in a moment, okay? At this point in time, we have to look at your budget sheet. You have your golden checkbook. Should be like a darkish. Okay, so on here, what we would have to do is we'd have to figure out how much money we have available. So let's just say, for the sake of our certain budget, there's nothing available. So I have zero money available to put down, which means I will owe $6,000.
No,
Okay.
This one is the.
Now the next part. I need everyone's pay attention. Everyone back up here. Everyone stop talking. Everyone look up, because this is going to apply to your junker / fantasy vehicle 2 and junker / fantasy vehicle 3. For 2 and 3, we are literally going to find anything that you might be interested in. So if you wanted to look up a Bugatti, go for it. If you wanted to look up, and I legitimately, I'm not lying, I had a kid find a tank one time. And they priced out a tank for the truck. That's fine. You want to look up boats, if anyone's in here is into boating, right? If you guys want to look into small planes, I've had that. If you want to look into helicopters, motorcycles. So I say car, but I can go any route I want to as long as it's a vehicle of some sort, right? So we're just kind of having a little bit of fun, okay? The only thing that's going to not be fun is a little bit of math, but once I show you how to do it, it's not difficult, okay? So the other thing too is you can go the other route and go with junker. I did have someone a couple years back found a Jeep with 3 wheels, no windows, and it was like, so they found a wheel and they found the glass for the Jeep, and it was like $500 total. It was a really, really, really old Jeep, but it was kind of cool, and they wanted to fix it up, so they priced it out. That's fine too if you want to go down that road. So the math I'm about to show you is the math I will see on your junker 2, fantasy 2, junker / fantasy car 3. Okay, so we're going to stick with this $6,000. So we're sticking with this vehicle here, but this is the math you guys will use for those 2 that I just showed you. So step 1, how much do I owe? This is going to go in each one of these. If you want to just do that, that's fine, because it's going to be the same price the whole way. Okay, how much do I owe? Now the question you have, and this is a legit question, if you guys go out and buy yourself a new vehicle, which you probably experienced, well, how long do you want to take? You want to take 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, and this is 6 years and almost 7 years. It actually should be, I should have put, I think it's 82 or 84 should be on there. Anyways, so we're going to do some math, very, very basic math, and divide how much I would owe by the amount of months it would take to pay me, paid off. So 6,000, divide that by 36, and I am left with a $166.67. 6,000 divided by 48, even 125. 6,000 divided by 60. Anyone want to give a guess? 100. 6,000 divided by 72 puts me at $83.33. And then 6,000 divided by 80 is $75. Okay? So technically, it should be a little bit cheaper, but you can see the longer you make it last, the lower your payments. But the bad part is I've got to pay now for this. If I choose the 8-year plan, it's 5, 6, the 7-year plan, $75 for 7 years every single month. That's a lot of money. So, do you want to suck it up and pay it off a little bit faster, 3 years, or take your time? With the understanding too that the vehicle loses value constantly. All right, so the next one, this is actually a, sorry, can you guys see it over there? Or is it too shiny? So you guys can see it, so Okay, are you guys seeing it okay? All right, so this is your interest rate. So most places, if you ever go out, sometimes you'll see a 0% interest loan. That would be great. That's awesome. Right now, they're not. You're not seeing that because everything is getting more expensive. The interest rates are going up at the federal level, so of course everything is expensive. So we're going to. It's a 3.5% loan. So we just take the 166.67 times 0.035, puts me at $5.83. Okay. 125 times 0.035 to $4.38. 100 times 0.035. Anybody?
3.5.
350. 100. 83.33 times 0.035. Puts me at $2.92. And then 75 times 0.035. $2.63. Okay. So that's just your interest. That's the loan that you have to pay off in order to have the vehicle. Next part, you have a choice. I'm okay with if you do the slow version, or the easy version. I'm gonna do the monotonous version, so people watching this video can see this. These numbers right here, you will notice, are the same as this one. So you just bring them over. If you want to just do the math and not do this on your own, you are more than welcome to do that. Okay, and then we just do some math. So 583 plus 166, 67 puts me at 172 and 50 cents. This would be 129 and 38 cents. This is 103.50, and I'm doing my lovely math here. 3 2 5 minus 12 4 6 86.25, and this will be 77 and 63 cents. So I just added them across. Okay. Now, Grace, we have a couple of questions I have to ask you. Based off of those numbers, to afford this car in your budget, how many months are you going to choose? Do you want to do the 36 or do you want to do the 80? Which one do you think would fit? 80? All right. So right here, you would just write 80. And that means you're going to be paying $77.63. And the gasoline thing, I'll tell you right now, a Fusion is 15 gallons. And then you would just do the math on your own to fill it up, and then 4 times a month. $50 times $2.99. And then
It's just the second, like the first pink one I can't read.
$77.63. Yeah, that was your 80-month payment.
Sorry.
That's all right. Good. So that is the math I should see when you guys do number 2 and number 3. Once you do it, the first couple, it's kind of monotonous. It's just a repeat. It's not difficult. It's math. It's additions. But for all the math you guys do at your level at this age, this is nothing. It should be easy. Okay? It'll take you about 5 minutes, 10 minutes math. All right. Questions on this? Pretty straightforward. Good. So again, for number 2 and for number 3, because it's your fantasy or junkers, I'm not asking you any of those detailed information questions down here. Just how much would it cost to fill it up, right, for the month, right? Because some of you guys will be amazed at how much a boat costs. Anybody have a boat here? Anybody ever go out on a boat with friends? How much it costs to fill up a boat? It's like crazy. That's like crazy. All right. Now, for the last one, I'm going to put something on here. I would like you guys to also write this. Uber, Lyft, and taxis are
Do you not want the website link though?
Yeah, don't worry about the website. I'll explain that in a second. Private. Okay. I am looking for public. Therefore, I do not want to see Uber, Lyft, or your taxis. It's a private company, private organizations, right? So we are not doing any of those. So if I see these, just to be up front, it's going to be a 0. I don't want Uber, Lyft, I don't want taxis. Okay. What I do want, and this makes it, again, very, very basic, is public transportation. So for this one, there's a lot of random choices. One of them I just heard you mention was, so there's the Brunswick Transportation Association, there's the Medina County Transit, right? There's the RTA, right? It does exist, it still goes through Medina. So that's another one you guys can look at. All I would need up here is, all you're going to put here is buses and or trains. If RTA buses and trains, if it's just Medina, it's going to be their bus or their van, whatever you want to call it. Name of the organization, so it would be RTA, MTA, or BTA, whatever. If you go to the website, you should be able to find how much a ride should cost you, which not horrible. And then what would it be a monthly pass? How much would a monthly pass cost you? You may, if there's anybody in here going to be near a big city like New York, Chicago. Okay, so there's, if it's like New York, Chicago, Boston, there's other cities that have, like I know Seattle has a public transport, like train system. You can look up the train system just so you have the idea of what it would cost. If my car breaks down, can I still get to work? Right? And some people, like I know people that live in New York that don't have cars. They just use public transportation. One, I have to pay for parking, which parking is astronomical in New York for those who have never looked into that. Right? And or finding a parking spot is just painful. And so again, just basic information. Not worried about the website. I left it on there because I was lazy. That's all. So that's really that. Are there any questions about this part of the project?
I spelled taxes.
Okay. So again, just a little bit of math. Matter of fact, when I'm done in a moment here, any time left over, you guys can use to work on this. All right. Now, I do want to go over, because there's a couple of random things in the budget to make sure that those are clear for you. So on that orange checkbook, a couple things for you. Actually, I'm going to sit down and do these. All right. As of Friday last week, we should have everything through 5 done. So your groceries should be on here. Your eating out should be on here. Okay. There's no need to write anything in these blocks. Those are fine. Whatever the cost is here, then subtract. Okay. The ones I should see at least a little bit of a blurb of something. For the college one, I think I said like no college, that if it's a 0, then no college. Make sure you write that in there. These should just have the numbers. These should be good without a comment. Cell phone bill. Remember, if you're on your parents' plan, I should see in here parents' plan, just so it makes sense. If I see $0 and I see parents' plan, I can go, okay. If I see $0 and no comments, then I would imagine you'll then have a home landline and not a cell phone. But you'll have one or the other, okay? This one, if it's a 0, I am perfectly fine with leaving it blank, because that one I think I told you guys personally is understandable. People are not getting those anymore. Laundry expenses. If it's a 0, then I should see in apartment or in unit typed in there or written in there. Okay. Renter's insurance. If you put a 0, that's fine. I think I still told you the numbers. If you want to keep it, if your budget's fine, that's good. You'll see over there it does say optional. That's fine. You don't have to get renter's insurance. Household goods, that's something we've already talked about. Groceries, eating out. All right, so the down payment on the car. Who in here owns the car outright? then your down payment would be 0. Right? Okay, who in here has a car that is paid off? You write in paid off there for me. Okay, that way I can understand it's a 0. If you have a payment, whatever that payment is, then put the payment in there. Car insurance. This is going to be up to you guys. You can look up. You're not on your parents' plan, so parents will let you stay on their cell phone plan, but they want you off their insurance for cars. Okay, you're out of school, so there's no more good student discounts. Remember that. Right, so you can look at some places that have like good driving, like Allstate does that. I have Allstate, and they have like a good driving record, and they'll pay me. Like they'll say, okay, well your payment was this, but you've done such a good job driving. Here's $5 back or $10 back. So you can get those. If you're looking on websites, if you just go to Google and type in average insurance, and you could type in your age in Ohio, you can find some stuff. My suggestion: don't sign up for anything. Right, so if it asks you for your email or phone number, unless you really are interested, don't submit anything. Just look for numbers. Right. If you get stuck, come see me. Gasoline, we already talked about that, so you should be good to go with that number from part 6. All right. Entertainment is. I left it open-ended on purpose because I don't know what you guys are going to do for fun. Keep in mind, I haven't brought up Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, any of those things that might cost you some money. Mind you, again, living in reality, my brother who lives in the Netherlands, I mentioned, he uses my Netflix account. He uses my Disney Plus account because I can share. The Netflix one, I have the old version where I can make 4 or 5 different accounts. So those are understandable. Your cable, though, for your apartment, if you have to buy that, that's something to consider. Keep in mind going out with friends, concerts, movies, buying a new video game, right? That's all kind of thrown in there. So let's just say that here at the end of this one, you had $450 and you want to leave $100 off to the side for going out with friends. That's understandable. All right. Health insurance. Who in here remembers the job that they got provides insurance for them? Okay, if you remember that, or if you don't, go back and look. You can type in or just write provided, and you're good. All right. There's a second choice. Go research health insurance and find out what's going to cost you. Now, here's the fun part. Who in here is in the project not going to medical school? Like you are done with school around the age of 23, 24. Okay. Who in here is going directly to work? Okay. Does anybody know how long your parents can claim or allow you to be on their insurance? 26. Last time I checked was 26. May have changed, but 26. Okay, so 26 is usually good. So you guys could put parents. I'll let your parents help you out with that one. That's a nice little budget saver. Little caveat though, in the real world, if this happens, your parents are claiming you on their taxes, you don't get a tax return. Or your tax return is very, very small because they will be getting all of the tax benefits for paying for your health insurance. All right, so there's a little give and take on that one. And then the savings. Let's say that you're at 350 and you want to put $50 in savings. That leaves you with 300. Okay. So again, those are kind of open for discussion. So you should be good on those. Couple little things on this: credit cards. If you are desperate and you need it, come see me. I'll walk you through it. You don't have to use the credit cards. So I have on the back page a whole bunch of options for you, but that is completely optional. You don't have. That's why I put it at the bottom, right? And then miscellaneous. There's probably things I don't know about, right? That you might. Military people, your stipend for your food can go in here. So if you have I think it's $300 something that comes to you for money for food, you can put that right there and add that in. If you have pet things you got to buy, or things that I can't think of in your life that you have to purchase, keep in mind I didn't bring in. Even if you have health insurance, doesn't cover the medicine itself, right? So if you have to buy medicines, like I'm hypothyroid, which means I have to get medicine all the time. I'm paying for it every month usually, right? So you can throw that on there. Okay. Now the grading of this, again, being upfront with you guys. Every single blank you see here is 2 points. 2 points, 2 points, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So if I see a blank, so let's say I get to here and I see cell phone bill and it's 0, there's no explanation as to why it's 0, I will most likely take 2 points off. Okay? So make sure that you're very clear as to why those are there. The landline, like I said, I'll give you that one. That's fine. Some people will do, like, let's say they get cell phone and they have like $650 left, and they just drop the $650 down. That's fine. If I see an arrow there pointing down, that's fine as well, right? But something to let me know it's just moving, that's fine. All right, yeah. So it's a nice chunk of points. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52, 54, 56, 60, 62, 64, 66, 68, 70, 72, 74, 76, 78. So it's 80 points for those blanks right there. Plus, of course, your 4 points for the top, the header, right? And then please do not forget this minimum should be filled in. So this is an additional 10 points. So now we're at 94 points. Right? If you have the hourly, thank you for doing the extra work, but I'm not going to worry about this. This is the one I'm looking at right here. Okay. All right, so about 94 points for this one. And then real quick reminder, just so it's on the screen so you guys see it, I will take it the 13th through the 15th of December this year. I won't take it next year. Yeah. Okay. Questions? Things you can think of right now. Yeah.
For the down payment, if we previously paid it, we don't have to
No,
put it there.
no. Only if you're using it from your budget sheet. Okay. All right. I think that covers it. So I'll send this video out. If you need it to use it to reference, great. If not, you can get rid of it.